the breakaway. What happened? There was Occupy Ghana. We all knew a lot of people. We saw a lot of familiar faces. And then all of a sudden, another group emerges, says, well, we are Citizen Ghana movement, no longer Occupy Ghana.
You must remember that, or you must know that nobody went out to set up an organization called Occupy Ghana. We met at an event organized by another group. The Occupy Flagstaff House Day was not called Occupy Ghana. It was Occupy Flagstaff House, organized by a group called Concerned Citizens for Responsible Governance. Yeah. We all met there.
Is it that Nana Kwesiwa led that?
Good. Then, after that, a few of us who met there said, we need to maintain and sustain this momentum. So we formed a back office group that was supporting the people who started that work. Along the line, it crystallized and became Occupy Ghana. So Occupy Ghana itself was formed about 3 months after the event. 2 or so months after the event. It wasn't immediate. But you can understand that for people who were thrown together by an event, our understanding of how to proceed would differ.
Of course.
We can do all things, but at some point, I think that some people needed more expression. Right? There are people who are activists in the sense that, and there are various ways of being activists. And so for me, it was a philosophical difference as to the mode of operation, right? And at the end of the day, it was best that everybody is allowed to express himself or herself in the way the person considers best. I didn't want, for example, my view that this ought to be a certain way of pushing the Ghana agenda to limit somebody, and I didn't want to be limited by somebody's vision. So when the philosophical underpinnings got to a head, it was only fair that look, you proceed this way, let's proceed that way. Will I call it a breakup? Is it a breakup if we are still talking?
Oh, you still talk?
Absolutely.
But for a movement that was, let's say, started by Nana Kwesiwa, for instance, let's just say he's the brain behind this whole thing. It started up, and then it sets up, it blows out, becomes a big thing, and then somewhere along the line, he feels he has no place in there. He has to now go out and go set up something.
I haven't heard that is what he said. So I will.
No, he hasn't said that.
Yeah.
But
okay,
that's the perception out there.
If it's your perception, let me try and correct it. There was an original organization, 7 or 8 of them, called Concerned Citizens for Responsible Governance. Yeah. Good. Then we set up Occupy Ghana. Now this is the fact. Nanewa, who is my friend, he's a son of a school colleague. Okay, so we are deeper than people know. He left the organization to join us. That's what you don't know. He resigned from Concerned Citizens for Responsible Governance to join Occupy Ghana. So can we really say it was his organization? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. They had an organization. We supported them. At some point, we crystallized into an organization. We could have worked together. In parallel and together, and everybody applying the same pressure. And I think we need more of these groups in this country. But at some point in time, Nana Kwesi resigned, formally put in a letter of resignation, and put in an application letter to join Occupy Ghana, and was admitted into Occupy Ghana. So the narrative is a bit not straight. Then at some point in time, he and some formed Citizen Ghana, which and we appreciate the work they're doing. It's also very upfront. We were both in court at the same time. Both us and them were in court at the same time for the right of information, etc., etc. And the judgments we have received have gone a long way to support Ghana. And so, at the end of the day, it's the end that justifies the means. So the story is not actually accurate. But the thing we haven't done is that we haven't bothered to respond to it. We are still doing our work. They're doing a fantastic job as Citizen Ghana. The original group doesn't exist anymore, and we hopefully are doing a lot as Occupy Ghana.
I mean, one of the issues that has been, one thing they say led to this, should I say, breakup or the creation of this new movement was the fact that Occupy Ghana was becoming too political.
That's untrue. Political. Well, let me rephrase.
Are you a political organization, Occupy Ghana?
Absolutely, we are political. The organization is not partisan. And if anybody says that's what led to it, that's untrue. Citizen Ghana is political.
Citizen Ghana is also political?
We are all political organizations. We are dealing with the politics of the nation. But speaking for my group, we refuse to be partisan. As a group, individuals are allowed to be. Just that if you take a partisan position, we make you resign from your position, so you become a common floor member. So those of our members who went into politics, we still kept them because we want to be able to influence them. I want to be able to look in the face of Georgiana and tell him, brother, you are wrong, and have a shouting match with him. People don't understand that. You should see the way our meetings go. If you get a sneak peek onto our platform, you'll be amazed. At the arguments we have, we often disagree. But at the end of the day, we make sure the organization is not partisan. So we come up with a position that is not partisan. So people have moved into politics. I'm happy that we retain their membership.
So they are still members?
Absolutely, but they are not in executive positions.
So George Anda, for instance, is still a member of OccupyGhana?
He comes for the common floor member meetings. He won't attend the directors' meeting. He's no longer on the directorship. He resigned.
And does that not suggest double standards in a way?
In which way is it double?
On your part?
In which way is it double? We welcome people with different political views.
Okay. So
not everybody there has the same political view.
So for instance, you are seeking to push an agenda that may not necessarily benefit his government. Of course.
We don't care. We don't care. He will have his arguments. He will have a say. But at the end of the day, the decision of the majority will have our way. It might, you see, people haven't kept track with it. After he resigned to go fully into government, our first press statement was to criticize 110 ministers, of which he was a part. Yeah. Has anybody averted the mind to the fact that we criticized, in a sense, his appointment? Right? So, are we able to divorce our political opinions from what Ghana needs? Absolutely. It is not every statement we put out there that I personally support. But once the majority decide that it's got to go, it's got to go.